Alright, hello and welcome to another episode of 3D Paint. I've got a larger 3D printer and I want to go through on how to add magnets. And you can buy these off of Amazon. And this is a bunch of magnets and they're really small. I want to show you how you can connect magnets to your prints. And I'll show you one of the prints that I did where I added the magnets. Batman, he's actually magnetic. His head is magnetic. Put magnets in there to make it easier to put on and off his head. So that way while you're painting it or you want to ship it or you want to do something with it, still can be connected. Some parts I don't bother putting a magnet in, like this cape, and that cape is FDM. And I'll show you how to prepare that as well. And then his hands come off. That's a magnet. This one didn't need a magnet, and these are resin 3D prints. The cape is FDM. At the time, I didn't have a big enough resin 3D printer, but I recently got one, and that's why I did the Harley Quinn. But that's the Batman. You can see the little magnet in there. And then I did it in his torso. This part has a magnet. And it's just to hold them together. And then at his feet, in the base, I have magnets as well, which I kind of hid with some filler, which really nice. You could just go ahead and put him back together. And he looks like a finished piece, and that way I can paint him, take parts off, go back and forth. If I want to move him around, or if I ever decide to move and I want to be able to move him, I can do that. Or if something breaks off of him, I can fix it. So let's get started. First thing I wanted to show you is I'm going to put a magnet in here. What we're going to do is try to get this leg, let's take her belt off. It doesn't fit quite right, the leg. So what we're going to do is, I like to use a Dremel. I'll show you this right here. This is the Dremel. And I go over the carpet so that way I can vacuum it afterwards. But we're going to go through this. And we're just going to knock down some of the edges. See how some of the parts did not finish correctly right there? We're going to go in there and just take some of that out. Now you should be wearing a mask. I'm not wearing a mask because I'm doing a video right now. This will kind of give you an idea where some spots need to be shaved down. So we're going to do that around the edge of this leg. Kind of fits, but it doesn't, and you can see gaps. I'm pretty sure if we shave it down a little bit, we can fit it in there. This is too thin of an edge to be messing with. I mean, I'm going to do a little bit, but you see where the lip is right there? I'm going to go for that first. I'm just going to try and shave that out and see if that'll make a difference. And this is one of those process a little at a time. Goes a long way, so don't go crazy. See how it's fitting a little bit better now? It does look like there's some nubs on this from some material, so I am gonna go for it. So go a little at a time, try and get it just perfect. I'm going to work that a little bit more. And another part that you want to work on in here too is you can see where the white is. You can see that's where it's bumping. So that might be a problem spot. Do a little bit around the edges, make sure it's fitting nice. It looks like that's not the problem anymore, the edges. It looks like we're running into hollowing this part out. So let's go for that. I feel like we're getting a little bit closer. And when you're pushing this in, you can see where the white starts building up, so you see where stuff is hitting. So I feel like there's a little part of her butt back here that's hitting this part right here. As you can see, it's getting better and better. We just got to keep trimming. I think it needs to be drilled down, so let's go for the top of this. A lot closer. We're getting there. All right, so it's kind of getting there, and you could get away with that, but I can't help myself. I got to get it closer. Looks like it's hitting right there. That looks pretty good. We could go a little crazier, but I think that looks really good. Now let's go for the magnet. I do it a little brutal way to do this. I have a Ryobi drill gun with a bit that's the same size as this particular magnet, and what I like to do is drill a hole, fit that magnet. So let's see, is that hole big enough? We might get away with that. We might be able to get away with that. We might not have to drill a hole. Let's see if it lines up. All right, let's see if we can get that hole a little bit bigger. And as long as they're close, that's what we want, and that should magnetically keep her legs on. Alright, so we'll grab the magnets. We're going to try and make these magnets flush, but we don't want them falling in the hole. That's why it's a good thing to buy a bunch of these. What we're going to do is take a piece of sandpaper, and we're going to sand around some of these magnets. So go ahead, rough them up a little bit. What we're going to do is we're going to take some super glue. We're going to keep the magnets together. Try not to glue them together. And we're going to try and make this magnet flush with this magnet. We'll go ahead and we'll put some super glue around the edges. Okay. We'll grab this. And we'll try to go flush. Just hold it there for a second. I'd rather go in more than less. Oh, son of a bitch. Alright, when you go in like that, you just go in with the magnet and you grab it. It's a little bit of a pain in the butt to get it in there. Just let it sit there and set. Now we have a magnet in there. Give it a second to set. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is going to put a magnet in that one. This time I think I'm going to put the glue around this hole so that way I don't have it all over the magnet. Different ways to do it, guys. I'm just showing you my way of doing things. Might not be the best way, but it works for me. And this hole's a little bit bigger. What I like to do is while that's sitting in there, put a bunch of glue around it. Try and set it into that spot. So we got this one facing the right way. You just got to make sure that you keep the poles. And we're just going to put that right in there. And we'll let that set and dry. I'll add a little bit more glue and wipe over it like I did before, and I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. Alright, so once both pieces are done drying, and make sure they're at the right polar of the magnet, you should be able to just put this into place like so. And that's it. And as you can see, it fits in there quite nicely. And it holds. You don't have to worry about her falling over or falling apart. And I do that for the base too. While I was waiting for this to dry, I drilled a hole here and I put a magnet into her foot, and that's going to go right there, and that way it'll hold. And I'll probably just glue this in like so, and it should hold right here once I get the magnet into place, and that way I can pose the figure and not worry about it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So if that gives you an idea, now you could go for this and then attach the body. And this particular model, I would like to actually be able to change out this body for this body. So I want to put magnets, hopefully that are the same parallel as the arms, so that way I could just switch out the body. If I want that one, I'm going to do a double paint. And then same thing with her hair pieces. I'd like to magnetically put those in. And this is just good for if you want to move it around or change out stuff, or you want a different look. You know, it's just a cool way of doing things. So, and it just takes some time to get everything together and get it working right and fitting right. That's all the time I have for this episode of 3D Paint. Just remember, guys, to stay creative.
Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame, cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day,